interesting personality in the house today. And the topic we will be discussing today is communication, a key factor in the propagation of Islam. Our guest who will be treating the topic for us is an associate professor from the Department of Mass Communication and a leading researcher at the Institute of Geopolitical Communications, Faculty of Philology, Rodin University in Russia. Fadilat Sheikh Dr. Mustafa Muhammad Al-Jami. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We would like to say thank you for sparing your time and, giving us this time out of your busy schedule.
At all, it isn't much to ask because I'm a Muslim myself, and it is part of what we owe the Ummah generally. So, as Prophet Muhammad said, that khairun nas man yanfa'un nas. So, again, good morning to Nigerians. Good morning to all the Muslims across the world. I am delightful to be here and be discussing this particular topic that's essential in our religion. It's a basics and it's a whole. Only if we understand.
It's a basis only if we understand. So let's start from the very, simple before we get to the complex part of the show. Now, let us start with basic, understanding of the word communication.
Once again, thank you very much when you said that I may they'll correct you with the Russian. So it is a Russian Federation. It's a federation. So at least it's important to clear that.
MashaAllah.
And so thank you very much once again for inviting me to discuss this vital topic. And when we say communication, you've already stated it even in your introduction, saying that it's a means or it is an act of exchanging meaning. That's basically to say an act of exchanging meaning. It's different from information, giving an information, sending a message. But this is saying, how do we exchange meaning? So what do we mean by that? So communication is huge. Communication, as simple as it is, can be complex also as well. That's why when we say it is the essential, it is the basics. So like the Yorubas will say, Oro la fidaliaye. So, and even in Quran, so many in Islam believes that, okay, when say kun fayakun, the word should be, and it is. So it comes from the word. So, but how did we say it? That one comes from amr, from command, do it, from Allah. Right? When we talk about exchange of meaning also as well, we said, what is communication? It's an exchange of meaning. It could be between two people interacting with one another. It could be from one person to larger number of people. As far as you're sending a message and this person is also returning the message back or giving you the feedback, it's what we call communication. Of course, in the process of defining communication, there was a stage when it was what we call one-way communication, when we are talking about the mass communication. But originally from the beginning, communication is an exchange of meanings.
Communication is an exchange of meanings. You wanted to go into, being a one-way, stuff or a two-way, three-way thing. We will get there, but I would want us to take it just one step before another. Now, you have defined for us in clear terms what it means, what communication means. Now, it is exchange of meanings. Now, this exchange, I would love to know, and for our guests to know, what's the significance of communication in the life or in the society of an individual or the society.
When we say an exchange of meaning, it means it is the basics, it is a whole on its own, because it depends on how you send it and how you receive it. That's what determines the peace or the successful nature of living among one another. So that's why we said so. The Yoruba says another say, or an African proverb that says that it is the word that you will say that brings a cola nut from the pocket. Same words can also bring a sword from its pouch. So the same word can be, depends on how you say it and how I receive it. Which Quran also emphasizes, the Islam also emphasizes different ways in many places in the Quran. I believe we'll be getting to some part of them.
I think we should go there now. You know, as Muslims, we believe Islam minhajul hayat. It is a complete way of life, and I wanted to say we hardly know. It's not even hardly. We have nothing. We don't function, 247 without, having a reference from the Quran as per what we are doing now. Can you just give us a reference, 2 or 3 from the Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet to back up this position?
Even before I go, there are many things when we are talking about the essential of communication, when we talk about it. So communication is not only what I say or what I write to send an information to you.
MashaAllah.
It could be how I feel, what I show. So meaning we have both verbal and non-verbal communication. And Islam says a lot. Prophet, for example, when it comes to the non-verbal communication, talked about how even a simple word could be charitable.
Allah.
It's an act of charity to use a good word in sending it to another. It's in Sahih Bukhari. So how, when you say a good word alone to people, it will be counted as an ibadah. So that's one. So when we talk about verbal and non-verbal communication, how much are we paying attention to this? How did I say it? How did he receive it? The tone I use, the manner. That goes to when we talk about that. Islam taught us or teaches us on the importance of understanding socio-cultural context of exchanging meaning. You don't say particular words in a particular settings for a particular reality. You have to be careful in saying them. Okay, when we are talking about some verses in Quran, for example, we said, one, when Quran says that إذا قرأت القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم تفلحون. 2 things there. Qira'atul Quran, we'll be asking ourselves where this communication comes from there, right? Then communication is talking about the importance of reflecting, listening first, before saying.
استمعوا
له. So the process of silence as at that time should be the process of reflecting on what you're hearing before you are responding. So many of our speakers, many of our da'i today only want to talk. They don't want to listen. Many of them, while they are talking to the audience, they are only talking, they are not paying attention to the gestures of those who are listening. And Quran emphasizes on this. That's one thing when we talk about effective communication. The significance of effective communication. I was coming from the definition when I wanted to talk about one thing we do not also pay attention to generally when we talk about communication. We don't pay attention in the channels of communication or the models of communication. We have, when we say, we have a message, a messenger, you have the message, you have the channel, and you have the receiver, right? That was how it comes. Until later when we have what we call feedback loop. The feedback loop is saying, okay, now, this person also should get, but I'm saying that we have feedback as early as possible. It's just because we did not, the research, we didn't pay attention. The research didn't get to that state earlier. Or let's say the tools we use in sending it. But originally, from the moment Adam and Eve comes down, there's been feedback loop.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
Because it is the process of the feedback that gives that cost and the process of between the interaction between them, the exchange between them and Shaitan. Between the Abil and Qabil. So process of feedback are there. That's one. Now another thing is that when we talk about communication, I just mentioned that those lines of feedback, right? Now we have feedback. And feedback is giving back, saying this is how I took it. But something can happen in between that can cause disruption to effective communication. It's what we call noise. Noise. So in the process of sending messages is what many dying doesn't also pay attention to. Noise is anything that can disrupt effective communication.
Anything.
Anything. I intentionally say anything.
Anything.
Because we have different types of noise.
Okay.
We have psychological noise.
Okay.
We have physical noise.
Okay.
we have lots of types of noise.
Okay.
Physical noise is that you hear louder noise and and it affects you.
Coming between the receiver and the sender.
Yes,
okay?
psychological noise could be the reality or the experience of something that happens to the speakers at the time that he's talking. What happens to him before he's presenting? While I'm coming to the studio, maybe I met some people and we started fighting there, then it can change my mood and how I'm going to deliver what I prepare to say.
Sure. When
I get here, psychological noise can also affect me. It depends on how I feel and I see who is receiving it here. Same thing also happens to the audience.
MashaAllah. So I would like to, emphasize on these two types of noise you just mentioned, because like you said, most of, Islamic scholars, they hardly pay attention to the gestures, the feedback from the audience. They only want to be heard. They don't want to read and then hear the body languages of the audience. I think this is a very good point for us to take. Now, I want us, you said this feedback of a thing has been, there even since human being first came here. Now, let's go back to the era of, the prophets. Now, I would love us to take it. Let's start from this prophet. His name is Musa. Musa had, defects in, in speech. He could hardly, make a sentence in 1 minute. Just a sentence of 2, 3, 4 words, was, usually a problem for him. So, how did he manage, to pass the message of Allah to the people back then?
Thanks a lot, Sheikh. There's one thing before even Musa and his brother.
Thank you.
Or between Musa and his brother during the process of propagating Islam. There's one key thing there.
MashaAllah.
What did Allah say? He said, when they were going to Fir'aun, وَكُلَّهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا. It's talking about what? It does not matter who you are speaking to. You have to be careful of who you should know your audience very well. And know the differences between them. The one that is older than you, the one that is younger than you, the one that is powerful than you, the one that is below you, they have different approaches of ways to talk to them. Okay, let's take it from that, because before we even get that level, it started from how Musa himself is requesting. Right? In Surah Al-Ta'ah, as you started. So, Rabbi Shrah Sadri, the importance of clarity in Islam and in communication. And communication says nothing, even for us in the communications field or scholastic. That's why I think a lady during our program in Unilag was saying we use simple languages in teaching during her feedback, is that a good communicator does not need any big vocabularies. I have to speak to you. We are getting to that part when we're talking about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already said that we do not send unto you a messenger without lisani qawmi.
MashaAllah.
Lisani qawmi, we are not talking about the normal verbal language. We are not talking about just me speaking Hausa, me speaking Yoruba. That some people will be also be faulting that and be saying that we said you should speak to us in Yoruba. We said you should speak to us in English. No, we are saying clarity. The types of language, the gesture. Does Yoruba like more non-verbal communication? How do they prefer you present your words? They prefer you to be saying in everything when someone is older than you. It's part of the language. It's part of the language that someone will say, oh, come on, yes, Sunnah is also saying that you should respect an elder. And the way we respect elders differs in different cultural contexts.
True.
In different cultural contexts.
So clarity.
Clarity
from Rabbi Shrah Sadri.
So Rabbi Shrah Sadri is asking for clarity because he knows he does not have what it takes to be a clear and a speaker.
So is there any link with ويسر لأمري واحلل عقدة من لساني.
Yasril Amri is also part. I do say something. People want to talk. Many of them talks, and they want to turn themselves to the motivational speakers today, as I being a dime. So it's not enough to do that. You need to clear your mind. If you pray, yes, you want to start talking and you start saying, rubbish, rally, surgery, where's really Amri. If your mind is not clean, they will not understand that dua will not be acceptable.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
So you know that you only want to talk for as a public speaker, not as a dai. They will not understand you. They will misunderstand you. That's why some things are going on these days on the internet about some scholars. They are not paying attention to the cultural context of speaking to others and using Lisani Qawmi, because if they are not using it, they are using the Lisani Qawmi, they are using the Yorubas, but not the Lisani Qawmi.
MashaAllah.
Not the Lisani Qawmihim.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
And means their people does not. Why would people always fault what you say? Because you are not speaking in their language. Even if you understand deeper meaning that you think you understand.
Even if you speak the dialects. Still
okay, people talked about between Harun. Okay, we are getting there. Okay. Between Musa and Harun. Musa and Harun. Musa and Khidr. Okay. That's something too different about the issues that's going on now.
Okay.
So first we're coming from Rabbi Shra'li Sadri wa Surli Amri.
وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِنْ لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي.
Those things that will make it difficult for them to understand it. Can you kindly remove it from me? But he already knows that it may be totally difficult. He said, Aruna Ahi.
وَجَعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِنْ أَهْلِي.
Because he believes that talking to them with their dialect, because of the language, it's better that it's someone that understands him better, that can easily translate what he is saying to them, not someone from outside that does not really understand his context and reality, that will just be misinterpreting. The dua in speaking effectively is completed in that part.
MashaAllah.
Not only dua, the process of speaking.
You see, I would like to chip something in there and permit me to do so. I used to live with this guy who had problem, vocalizing his thoughts. But his brother understands him very well. Whenever he speaks silently, his brother will interpret it, and believe you me, it's exactly what he wanted. Now I just get to know that now through this example you gave by Harun understanding Musa most than anybody back then.
So he knows the importance of that, because we've seen many cases where we have external people interpreting for us. And we've seen even in khutbah, when you have someone who is then, the sheikh has to come in and interpret it in that sense, in reality that, no. So, but he knows that they believe in his brother. He understands him better. Before saying anything, he knows what he is about to say. That's why he requested for that. Now, Haruna Akhi, Ishdud bi'i asri,
وأشرك في أمري
كي نسبحك كثيرا ونشكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. Now, that's also good. Bina basira. You know us. You know we don't have anything in the mind except propagating what you send, what you ask us to do. Everyone, all that should ask themselves. The reason you go to that place to speak, is it because of Allah, or because you want them to know you?
That you speak very well.
Or because you want them to know that you are bringing something new? There are many hidden, there are many things that, yes, we know. Only a fool will say there are no transcendence. Transcendence is beyond where Allah is. It also goes even in the knowledge. Yes, we know. But if you are not speaking to us in a manner that we will understand or easily follow, you are not talking to us. You just want to mislead us. So even if you have fact, and your fact cannot easily be digested, you're only a misleader.
MashaAllah. I don't want you to leave something you've mentioned out. You have, talked about the communication, system or time between Musa, Fir'aun, and Harun. And you wanted to talk about Musa and Khidr.
Yes. So,
just to remind you.
Musa and Khidr is another thing. Process of communication happens between three different people. Musa and Fir'aun, Musa and Harun, Musa and Khidr, even Musa with Musa Samiri.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
And even Musa and his people. Communication completes there.
What about Musa and the sea? Would that be a communication too?
There's in everything of, fortunately, in almost everything there is a communications because we fail to know. And Islam taught us how to pay attention, but we don't.
Allahu Akbar.
That's what reflecting, think, and let your mind be pure. A good Muslim whose mind is not pure will never be able to communicate effectively.
Allah.
Even if you are communicating, people would never understand you.
Allah.
It goes together.
Allah.
It is not beyond what you say and how eloquent you are.
Allah.
It's also asking about what your mind and what your heart is. This is not about normal life now. We're talking about faith.
Allah. Allah.
Faith goes with mind.
Allah.
Because it is Allah that will guide it.
MashaAllah.
It's for you to say. It's left for them to understand, and understanding exact what you want them to hear, or to even understand it better to be able to act or engage with it.
MashaAllah.
Now, Musa and Khidr.
MashaAllah.
That case, people, I know it causes a lot of issues when people talk about, I do say, well, it's reality because Quran said that it says. But one thing is that Khidr did not tell him he has any hidden knowledge. He only comes, just learn, if you can be patient enough to learn. The first case happened. When it happened, he couldn't. He had already warned him. You will not be patient. Why? He knows him before he got to him.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
He has an anger issue, and he doesn't. He's under the Nabi. For us, we don't have that. We don't have that free will to point at the deficiency of a messenger.
Of the messengers.
But if Quran has come, says, "Nanu nakusu alayka
naba'ahum bil haqq."
And all these are for us to learn, not to point out. I can use the laughs, I can use the alphas, I can use some verses from Quran
vocabs,
to define instead of me pointing that finger. But according to that, he pointed, he showed us that he is also not a complete man. As many of them will also come, Prophet Sallallahu himself, if not that Allah clarifies him that he is complete human. Prophet says, "Ana basharu mithlukum
yuha ilayya." Now, okay.
So, there's not much thing about it than the fact that he took the time. The first thing, second scenario, third scenario. Silence, doing what he knows that he's doing, and what he's been asked to do.
Now, there's a point there. Talking about context, talking about the audience. Okay, now Musa as a student of Khidr, saw Khidr, doing things that were against Musa's knowledge of the book of Allah.
Yes.
Now, isn't that a kind of a mismatch or a miscommunication? I don't even know if it is miss or this time between Khidr and Musa. What would you say about that?
Yes. Again,
because Khidr did what he did in the first scenario, in the second scenario, in the third scenario, and these three scenarios are
total things that are against
let's say in the context
of Islam that that we know on the surface.
Okay, so now what do you say about that?
Oh, that is why Allah says that don't assume.
Inna ba'da dhanni ithm.
Assumption. You see, one thing, even in communication, it says that when you are at the stage of uncertainty, ask.
Ask. Very important.
Inquire. Never leave. So, originally in communication, confrontation is the best to solve problem.
So, Musa did confront Khidir.
Then he had to confront, even though Khidir could have explained before they start the journey.
But he told him not to follow him. فَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا.
Yes, he will do that, but it's the nature of human, especially the nature of Musa as an inquisitive man, to really want to learn. He wants to learn, he wants to see something.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
So there's one lesson there for us.
Okay.
We will not call the stage, the interaction, a mistake because we can't fault. Because only Allah knows why that. We won't do that.
Allah.
But we can pick a lesson for
MashaAllah.
what we could have done.
MashaAllah.
It's saying that if you're a sheikh that knows better about some things that you think you know, you should sensitize this person before you get into a stage.
And then talking from the audience or the student perspective, it should also be able to ask and inquire.
That's two things. From both speaker and receiver. You are the sheikh, and he's coming. He has a knowledge that is below that stage. It's your responsibility to say that there can be this, there could be this, but I will also say that, but he tried because he told him, you will be patient. You won't be patient until you are able to. But also, as a human being, for him is that, say, what time? He's also a Nabi, don't forget, he's a prophet. Killing someone, it's totally something out of the way.
And even the background of the story was like, maybe because Musa was feeling that he was the most knowledgeable of that period before Khidir came. Now, I think we need to leave that area and then move forward. Quran is very, very interesting. I hope our Muslim brothers and sisters will just stick to reading the Quran. The more you read, the more the light of Allah, descends on you. And one poet once said that, al-ilmu nur. وَنُورُ اللَّهِ لَا يُهُدَى لِعَاسٍ. If you go against Allah's instructions, if you commit sins every now and then, you don't get that light from Allah, and comprehension will be difficult for you.
That's the point when I talk about for both speaker and receiver to be pure, not only about the outside, but to be pure in their
within
heart,
and
for
without.
you to say well, for you to receive, for you to also be able to comprehend well.
MashaAllah. Now, let us come. That is true. We have gone historical, and that's enough of that. Now, let's come to our modern day. We have technology. We are in the era of, ICT, era of technology. What do you call it? The tech era, right? Now, we have so many means of communication these days now. In Islam, this modern technology, how can this, or how can Islam make good use of the modern day, means of communication to propagate itself?
You see, when we talk about communication, the digital communication, generally, for many things that we will say we want to take advantage of from today's world, Quran has already prepared us for it.
MashaAllah.
Quran encouraged us to be advanced in knowledge. It encouraged us to also know how to live with the diverse nature of the world. It does not taught us to be static and stagnant.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
As Ummah, it's just that the nature of human that we decided to follow our own ways, that's the reason we do not see it.
MashaAllah. I think we have a caller already. Monday from Port Harcourt, you have the floor, please.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I so much love your program. And I'm just enjoying the guests, the way you are just
Thank you.
explaining things. I'm a Christian, but I love your program. I'm watching it now, and I'm so interested in it.
MashaAllah.
So keep it up. Where
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Monday, all the way from PH, Port Harcourt. Mr. Sunday from Port Harcourt, thank you for being a part of the show. And then for, maybe you are about to leave your home or you're on the road or there's power interruption, you can join us live on our, social media handle, the modern day, means of communication on our Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, name it, just type Rave TV live and direct, you will be able to see us. So you were on,
So, when we talk about digital communication, so like I said, Islam has prepared us for that. Okay. It's nothing new for us, except those who did not read and did not pay attention. That's a fact. But it cautions us on how to use it. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. As good as digital communication is today, is as it can be bad. Not that it is bad. It can be bad for the users who does not know how to use it effectively. That is why. Look at it. You have the opportunity for global audience, unlike before, that's only within your community, or only within your state, or only within your country. Facebook, Telegram, Instagram, all those. People beyond your geographical area can have the opportunity to listen to you. Right? That's one advantage. And we should seize the advantage of that. To say that, yes, dawah is for us to put it more, to spread. We don't know who will take it. We don't know which of them will certainly, be succeeded with it. But it's important for us to pay attention to how we use it. Interactivity is another thing. You are asking people now that they can use Facebook, your live one. It means people can easily, quickly type and be asking questions and also be contributing to what we have. Yep. There was no that before. We only have what we call one-way communication before. You only speak to people, and people don't have opportunity. So another thing about it is that you can see many shake down the COVID-19 when they also, get into that. They're able to sit in their room and using Facebook, using all those places to talk to people live. And people, before they will even finish their presentation, people are already asking questions. They're already engaging them. The difference between the technology and normal sitting, we can be sitting now, they may say, okay, wait till the end of the program, and before they can say that they may not have time to respond. But now while you are saying it, they are able to also communicate, they are participating, they are also engaging you. So that's one good thing about, so then it can quickly correct your steps to see when to stop. That's one thing. So another thing when we talk about effective communication, the usage of technology, is for us is that to be careful that as it can make you popular today, it can also makes you the other way. Like
my boss will always say, it can make or mar you.
Yes, yes. So that's one thing about digital communication. So don't be too free on it. Be careful what you say, and don't forget you want to call people into the into the way of Allah.
MashaAllah.
And you may end up misleading many who will not have opportunity.
I think that should be my next question. You see, but before I go there, like you said, everybody now has an opportunity to, say something about Allah. I don't even want to say something positive about Allah. It would look like Allah has a side that is negative. Say something about Allah. Everything about Allah, everything about Islam is positive. And then now I realize that it is an opportunity to, practice what the Prophet says when he said, Balligu anni walau aya. Every one of us, every Muslim is a da'i.
Yes.
You just have to know your level and then make that call based on your level. If you know this is where you are in terms of the knowledge of the thing, and you're trying to portray yourself as somebody who is high there, then that will be the area that is probably. Now, sir, let us go to Muslims. That's why I took the word out of your mouth now. Muslims, and particularly our scholars, our imams, our tutors, our missioners, our this and that, our asatiza, our dakatira, our barafisa, which you are one of them. How do they build effective communication? How?
Effective communication Number one, when we talk about being a good Muslim and being a good da'i, start with لا تقل ما ليس لك
به علم الله لا تكفو ما ليس لك به
لا
علم
تكف لا تكف ما
الله أكبر الله أكبر.
One, that is to stand or to stay on one, not to also say, maybe instead of using the language from Quran, and I'm using another one that's okay, in a way that's to say, that don't say. But if in Quran, kif, that's don't say you are staying within
Don't
that.
take a position, don't take a stand. ما ليس لك به علم.
You don't know it. That goes again to inquire, ask when you are at the level of uncertainty.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.
So, certainty we are not talking about when we're saying that
Allah.
you only know only that part you know. There are other people who knows more than that, beyond that.
ورفعنا بعضهم فوق بعض درجات.
Darajatin. Because even in Quran, another one, تلك الرسل فضلنا بعضهم فوق على بعض. It's now stating different features that each of the Nabi, each of the prophets has.
Allahu Akbar.
As unique, not as a fault. It's just that you can never be the same. If we all to be the same, we can't enjoy the life.
MashaAllah.
You have something I don't have. I have something you don't have. We should complement, not to compete.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
So, one is that I don't know it. Ask. Inquire. Search. And when you are searching, you're still uncertain, ask.
Can we, this verse you just mentioned, how can we relate it to the act of misinformation and disinformation? You know, because the ayah, if you read it till the end, it says, لا تكف ما ليس لك به علم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا.
Now,
so how do we, you know?
It's already connected to it. It's not as if even, number one, I'm starting to say, read, always read, because it's part of the basics of Islam. What did he say to Prophet ﷺ when Jibril came? He said, Iqra, bismi rabbik. Iqra, bismi rabbik. Read, read, read. It is the best first thing. You will read till you die. So,
min al-mahdi ila al-lahad.
So, read. So, when you stop learning, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you start dying.
True.
So, the process of living and keeping on living is to keep on learning. Right? And I'm now coming. So, first is that always read, and know that you don't know all. First, be humble to know that you know not everything. Even the part you know does not mean that it clears better to you than others. It's one of the problems that the Da'i are having. The problem that you are a professor of what? Professor of Arabic language? Yes, it's an Arabic language. Don't forget. You may be reading many other texts on Sharia. Does not make you a specialist in Sharia.
MashaAllah. Please hold the thoughts there. Does not make you a specialist in Sharia. Yes. I have a caller from Lagos Island. Please have the floor.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm Idiat from Lagos Island.
You're welcome, sir.
Sir, really enjoy
yes, loud and clear.
And our associate professor. Thanks for the presentation. So I want to look at the area of we Muslims, we are still lacking behind in making effective use of social media. Okay. Most of our madrasas, I've not been able to see most of our madrasas having the kind of computer-based program in their curriculum. So how do we get to this? A kind of a computer-based program in most of our pure Arabic schools. I mean, the Lakewood standard.
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. Okay. Did you hear?
Just a quick one. I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the importance of the madrasa to take advantage of digital technology and be equipped with it. I'm an advocate of that. Not only that, I'm an advocate of entrepreneurship in madrasa. I'm an advocate of advancement. You see, madrasa cannot be like how it was. When you make it to be like how it was, it means you are not following the sunnah itself.
Allah.
You need to grow with the word. We are not in the same era. We keep on getting bigger. The population keep on rising. And if care is not taken, we'll be the one causing more problems for the ummah. So how do we go? It's important for us as teacher, because we are the one designing curriculum. So every curriculum of every madrasa should have information technology in it, embedded.
Okay.
Bring those who knows about it to teach them the basics and encourage them to learn more from outside, or partner with an institution that has to do with this technology. Then see how you can maybe, those who are willing to have an advanced knowledge should go and pay if it's about payment. Or you can seek for, as you seek for musa'ada outside, for mosque,
like
for school,
fund,
why don't you look at the one that will advance the knowledge and the brains of your people? Enough of lot of mosque all around.
Allah.
We know mosque is good.
It's good.
But when we have many, we have one, between 5 house to another 5 house.
We have enough already.
Enough already, but do we have enough knowledge that will make Muslims compete with with others in today's world?
The capacity to lead that mosque.
So seek for that, because even to get good musa'ada or knowledge is even much better. Don't forget.
MashaAllah.
In the Quran, when in the hadith of Prophet Sallallahu that says that when you die, you die, only 3 things will be left with you.
MashaAllah. Please hold your thought there. I have someone calling from Alagbado. Please, let's hear from you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, my name is Dan Mufassir from Lagos, Alagbado.
Oh, Sheikh Dan Mufassir.
MashaAllah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I just joined the program now, so I was just surfing on the internet, so I saw the program, and it's my pleasure.
MashaAllah. You're welcome.
So I want to, first of all, I want to commend our lecturer. I want to say a big jazakumullah and jazak. This is a great platform, and we've all been learning from it. So I want to add something. He mentioned about we all need to understand that we don't know all. So if you know A, you cannot B. Then if you know B, you cannot C. If you know Loga, you can't know everything about Sharia. And if you think you are a good in Sharia, you can't know everything in Loga. So, and then one thing I see in our community is that we try to defend our mistake with another mistake. So that is not something I want to add on to the discussion. We know we made a mistake now, and then we try to, we don't want people to...
Instead of you to admit that, oh,
we
won't
admit. So trying to defend our mistake, we need to generate another mistake, another error. So even that error, again, if you want to defend the error, you need to generate another error. So I want everyone to take heed to what the lecturer has been saying since. MashaAllah, that's my contribution.
Thank you very much, MashaAllah.
We do follow your program, and we appreciate your approach as well.
You see, one of the few scholars of Islam that make good use of the social media.
Yes, I do follow many of his content.
MashaAllah.
And we do appreciate you. Jazakumullah khairan, Jazak Sheikh. One thing I want to add on to that part is that first is to know that you don't know all. First, another one is to know that sometimes you can also make mistake. You're human.
Fallible.
Yes. So, doing that, admitting, seek, or better be quiet.
Allah.
Let it go.
Allah.
That's another one. So now I'll add it to the general say, I think during our class in intercultural communication and media literacy in at Unilag, that is a scholar called Alfred Toffler. He said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who are unable to learn, relearn, and unlearn. And what that is, should look at these 3 keywords.
MashaAllah.
And it's exact what Islam also said originally. But we fail to follow it.
MashaAllah. We have failed to follow it. It has been an interesting program having our professor and assistant professor, Dr. Mustafa Mohammed Jami, all the way from the Russian Federation to, grace us and then to, add more knowledge to the one we already have acquired. I say Jazakumullah khairan. So I still have a little minute, few minutes to still spend with you. In fact, even though I feel like we should extend, but we can't go beyond this for now. I hope Allah will, you send towards us a huge sponsor that, will enable us to spend more than an hour on the program. Now, everything has its own challenges. How or what do you think are the challenges of effective communication within the Ummah, and what do you think as a Muslim can be the solution?
Yes, again, we'll come back to many parts, many things we've been talking about. Number one, it creates confusion in the society.
Allah.
People don't get to understand, and it will put them to an edge that instead of you being the one taking them towards the right of Allah, you'll be the one that makes them to lead that path because they don't understand. When information is too much, information overload, and it is not clear, they will leave it or they will follow another path. And it means instead of you keeping people within the rightful path, within the religion, you are chasing them to another thing because you're giving them an opportunity to be looking for the options. So that's one. So instead of you putting people on sirat, you are rather being the one misleading them. Many people does not know that. Many people in the process of finding the path, they are lost. And that is what is common. Many, that's why we see those in the Sufi, those in Sunni, because it's in many. Those in Sufi who many are saying this is not how Sufi is being practiced.
Yes.
And we could see.
Yes.
And those in Sunni are saying you'll be hearing Salafi 1990, Salafi this particular era.
Salafi plus, Salafi plus.
So that is, they're also saying that's not how it is. Why? Because there's no clarity. Because we are also not having a pure intention. So when you don't have that pure intention, in the process of looking for the path, you'll be misled. You will be misleading. So this, which is what we should rather pray more on, especially as Muslims. We are finding a way to connect to Allah and to lead us to Jannah. On the process of that, many people think they are still on the Sirat.
But they are completely astray.
And they do not know they are still going.
Allah.
So that's one thing that miscommunication can cause. There's difference between miscommunication and misinformation.
Okay, can we also gain...
Miscommunication is that I did not communicate it well in the way you should have get it.
Okay.
Misinformation is that I did not do it intentionally. I give you an information that it's not intentionally that I want to mislead you to get, but it happens as things happen sometimes. So then, myself, I do not know.
Okay, then that means this information is when you have the intention to mislead.
Because I just don't want you to get it, and I just mislead you.
Okay,
so confusion, misleading, and leading people out of faith. Miscommunication can cause that. Ineffective communication will cause confusion in the heart of the Ummah. It will cause misleading for Ummah. It will make people to be changing. That's why you see people asking you questions that, is this Quran, is this Islam? In different comments that, why are you doing this? We don't even know where to go. You cause problem. Instead of you becoming the light, you are rather causing darkness.
MashaAllah.
The people with ilm supposed to be nur, but don't be zulm.
MashaAllah. The people with knowledge are supposed to be light, not supposed to be the darkness that we will be running from.
Context contextualization. Content contextualization matters.
Okay.
I'm being called to this place to talk about naming ceremony, and they give me the topic, and who are the type of the people I'm talking to. Talk to it according to that. Don't use the opportunity because you're talking to them and be talking to many other people that will cause confusion, and they cannot read the context whether you are talking to a particular type of people instead of them. You don't have many time to be correcting yourselves. to cause confusion.
I think I know where you're coming from, and that has been the... Okay, I have my last caller on the line. Please, what's the name and where are you calling us from?
I'm coming from Lagos. From Samuel.
Your name, sir?
From Lagos. Samuel from Lagos.
Okay, Mr. Samuel from Lagos. Please, let's have you.
I'm coming from Lagos.
Mr. Samuel, can you make yourself more audible, please? Mr. Samuel? Oh, okay. We lost Mr. Samuel there. Okay, I think we have run out of time.
All right.
I would want you to give us a parting word. What advice do you have for the scholars and the non-scholars, the ummah in general, about communication, please? Just
Number one, return to Book of Allah and Hadith. Everything is there, and that is what Allah, Professor Salawat said. When we say when in doubt, ask. We are now saying when in doubt, ask through the Quran and Hadith.
MashaAllah.
Say not what you do not know about. Seek for clarity. Ask or clear. And be clear in mind with what you do. It will affect you. Don't assume you know everything. You don't know all. And learn, relearn, and unlearn. There are many things that you know yesterday that are no more about today. Only continuous learning will lead you to that.
Only continuous learning will lead us to dishing out the right information and communicating with one another, positively. This has been a wonderful show today, and I am very sure you are well fed today with the knowledge of Allah and how to make good use of your communication skills, how you talk, how you gesture, how you talk with your body, how you talk with your eyes, everything, and how you communicate with the living and non-living things around you. I want to say Jazakumullahu khairan again for being part of the show today. Inshallah, next week will be another interesting Friday to be part of this show. If you are here, please tell your friends to tell their friends that they are missing if they are not part of this show. My name remains Ahmed Al-Labib Immortala, saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.